back. Welcome back to weekly Braindump. Once again, this is week number this is technically the fifth podcast we're recording, but this is the third week since we launched. Exciting times, very exciting
Yeah,
times. I'm hella
100%.
excited. Yes,
I'm
How are you-
actually quite hyped for today's episode, to be honest.
yeah,
It's a
me
good
too.
one.
Absolutely.
Will be
I
a
think we
banger.
have a very cool topic, something we're both passionate about. But
Yes.
before we get into things, dude, how are you doing?
I'm doing actually great. The first semester started. I am taking a lot of classes this year because due to COVID's last semester or like 2 semesters ago, a lot of exams were postponed. So I'm doing them now on top of my normal classes. So I'm sitting at 7 or 8 classes this semester. And yeah, it's great. This week I wrote over 65 pages of assignments, and it's a lot to do, but it's fun, I guess,
That
most of the
sounds
times.
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I love writing papers. Trust me, it's
Good times.
one of my
Good
favorite
times.
things in the world. No, I'm horrible at that. In fact, writing my thesis at the time was terrible. I hated every second of it. It was the writing part. It's just I'm not, that's why I'm not gonna stay in the academic sector. Definitely not.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway,
How was
yeah,
your
but
week, though?
how was my week? Not much was happening so far. Technically, uni started last week for me too, but yes, I don't know. For some reason, everything since I only chose projects this semester. Every project is starting a bit later again, so there was not much going on. I was relaxing a lot, to be honest, which just wasn't too bad either. Plus, the weather was kind of nice, so I was hanging out with some friends. But so far, nothing cool that happened. Have to admit. I just keep looking at our podcast and think what we can do, what we can improve. I'm just really hyped about this project. I have to admit, like this has been a shit ton of fun so far.
Yeah,
And
definitely. Like it's super. I'm also like I'm looking forward for every like next episode. Like our topics are cool, and I think it's really nice to have a talk once a week. Or
yeah,
like to have a reason to talk once a week. I mean,
to have
it's not that we wouldn't have a reason otherwise, but obviously, if you have an appointment, you do it like more consistently than if you would just like talk now and then, right?
yeah, I agree. Especially because we since we don't live in the same town by now, we usually don't talk that much to each other. Not because we don't like each other, but just because I guess we're both not much into texting, and so we usually just I don't know see each other when I'm back in my hometown. But like this is actually a great way to like constantly be in touch, and plus we have a lot of common interests, so it's actually really cool.
Yeah, I agree. But let's actually get right into the good stuff. I'm just gonna start with the first question, and I kind of going to direct it towards you, and I'll answer afterwards. Our first, like this, will be a video game episode, basically. And my first question to you would be, what is your favorite video game from the past, and how did you get into playing video games? So, like, what was your first video game, and what is the famous one good video game you remember when you think of games in general?
Um, well, I guess I'll answer first the second question. That would be how did I get into video games? For me, it started very early. I was my I was lucky because my dad started being into video games himself early on. So when I was I think a year old, I was in Italy with my mom visiting my Italian family, and I've been told the story. Don't know if this actually happened. Like I'm guessing this happened like this. Anyways, my dad like he felt like buying a video game console. So at the time he bought the Nintendo 64. And when my mom and I got back, well, it was all set up, and that's how I first started playing some video games. Obviously, at the time, I was way too young to like play anything. But the very first time I had a controller in my hand playing something, like even though I was just running in circles, was playing Super Mario 64. And but the first like game that I actually remember playing that, which is also my favorite game from the past, is The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. And in fact, like I'd say that the whole Zelda game series is absolutely one of my favorite, also because it reminds me a lot of my childhood. But yeah, since I started at the time, especially playing in that field, or like with playing all of those Nintendo games, that was one that stuck out the most to me. Okay, what about you? Because as far as I know, like you started much later than me, right?
Yeah. Yeah, my parents basically hated gaming and tried to like keep me away from it as long as possible, basically. So I started like at some point I got a Mac. I think I was 12. I got an iMac for my birthday, for school and everything. And not a lot of games run on Mac, as we obviously know. And back then it was even worse. But I found this one game, which is um, people might be familiar with Quake, and it was a Quake clone. Basically, it was a replica which somehow ran on Linux and on Mac, and it was called Sauerbraten. So it was basically it was a really like free to play arena shooter, which was super fast paced, and I played that on like 24 frames on my iMac with a magic mouse and like horrible keyboard and shit. So that's how I got into it. That was the first game. And then for me, it's actually really hard to have a favorite game because, like, I think we're quite a little bit different there. You also enjoyed a lot of single player games, as far as I know. And
At first I did, yeah.
Yeah, I could never bring myself into playing single player games. Like, I bought so many and I play them for 2 hours, and then I always go back to shooters because I'm just like an FPS player. But if I would need to name one game, it would, I don't know, it would be Counter-Strike Global Offensive or Black Ops 2, because like Counter-Strike Global Offensive was the first game I actually tried to be good at, and Black Ops 2 was the time where I played scrims and ladder, so like competitive matches in like beginner scene with friends, and I played it a lot. So it would be one of those two games probably.
Wait, but Black Ops 2, I mean, I guess you're talking about 2009, 2010, something like that, around that period of time, right?
When it came out, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because like gaming changed for me a lot over time. I started with playing all of those Nintendo games, and especially when during primary school I constantly have like friends over. We were playing Mario Kart, Smash, whatever, those typical games. And at some point, I don't know, at the age of 13, maybe, yeah, something like that. We bought a PlayStation, a PS3 at the time, and that's when I started like. Okay, yeah, GTA was like a game that I loved. I really loved. I played that so fucking much. So yeah, but that's one of the last single player games I really enjoyed playing. Also a game that you and me, by the way, played a lot. Like at the time, GTA 4, like at my place, playing especially, dude. Remember like online mode? That was so hilarious. Oh, that was
so good. It was so funny.
Fucking funny. Oh yeah, that was good times. Definitely.
Yeah. Plus, like, was so good.
I mean, technically, it's so boring because it's not like there was much you could do. You were just there were no missions or something. You were just literally just in Liberty City with a few. It was Liberty City, right? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was Liberty. Yeah, basically Manhattan. So or New York. And you were just in Liberty City with or in the map with a few other players, like up to, I don't know, maybe 20 players or something. And yeah, that's it. So you could just like, I don't know if you had like guns or like if you had to collect them somewhere.
I think you could start with guns and then you could find them. And I remember that we always tried to get the chopper. You needed to go into the space thing on the airport or something and get the chopper.
Yes, exactly.
And we failed so many times to get in there.
I remember this one time. Like it was you and me. We were at my place and we played with this other friend of ours who was at his place. We were playing together, and like this is the best part, by the way. Like the way we played together was just on screen. We played together, But it's not like we were like video calling each other or something, or voice calling each other. No, we were texting here and there. That's it. And I remember we were in a chopper with like this other dude, and like it was a chopper for two. This dude with the chopper arrives, and like he wanted to pick us up from like some place, and he was standing right next to us, and he just shoot the chopper because he didn't want us to pick us up. And like we got so mad that like, oh fuck you, what the hell?
But it was so funny. It was actually so funny. It was good times. Yeah,
good time. Yeah, for real. Yeah, and then I remember shortly after the one game, and this is one of the last games I got hella hyped about, like so hyped that I was literally waiting for it for months. I pre-ordered and everything. That was Battlefield 3, and that game I played so fucking much, like and with you as well. And that's when I first started getting into like shooters in general, or like these. What do you? I hate calling it shooters. It always sounds like
first-person shooters, probably.
Yeah, no, I mean I prefer calling them competitive games, because it like shooter, it always has like this, at least from back then, it always has this undertone of someone that plays shooters is going to like, do some mass shooting bullshit. Anyways, but the point is like that's when I first started getting into competitive games, and I really loved that, and it was so much fun. And I think after that, like playing single player games became much more boring for me too. Like for some reason it started boring me very easily and very quickly. I guess that has a lot to do with the quick matches that go for, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes, and then it's next. And yeah, and then later on, I remember when I had a computer, I started playing a lot of Borderlands. That's one single. But I played that. I played that in co-op mode with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
That
I mean, it's single player, but not really. I mean, you mostly play it with friends, right? So
usually you play it in co-op mode, exactly.
Yep.
So that was amazing. Yeah, that was a shit ton fun. And I think at the time I also played some CS:GO. And dude, do you remember one game that we both played a lot, was Minecraft?
Yeah, Minecraft.
That was
everyone played Minecraft.
Like every exactly. When we were like 13, 14, something like that at the time, Minecraft, that was the game. Dude, that was so dope.
It was so good.
Yo, want to tell the story about the server?
Our server, which got destroyed, or which one?
Well, yeah, basically because of you.
Because of me? Why because of me? Just because I let people in, or?
No, don't you remember like that we had a server? So basically, we had this one server. I mean, we should be thankful because Konstantin set it all up, and we were like, I don't know, 10 people, something like that.
I remember the server, but I don't remember the story right now. So
we built like this pretty kind of big world. Like, it was really cool actually. And what happened is that you forgot to save it, and basically at the time, if you didn't pay the server or like the server fee, it would just delete the world, like everything that would be on the server. And so the server
I remember
that we all worked on for a year straight, just within a day.
Back then you still needed to pay with because obviously we didn't have PayPal or something, so you needed to pay with PaySafe cards. And the day where I needed to renew the subscription, I had school I had school basically all day, and afterwards I had football training. So I completely forgot and came home in the evening and was like, oh shit, it's gone.
So
it vanished.
Yo, that was so sad. That was really, especially because I think I had like 1 or 2 projects that I made with a friend of mine, where we literally stayed up all night just working on it. Like we had like this cool flying island, just gone.
rough times.
That was hella sad. Yeah. But yeah, and no.
I just wanted to maybe go to the next question, because we're already quite deep into the episode. Or do you want to add something to the previous one?
No, I'm actually no. You know what? Go ahead. Let's go on to the next question.
I go ahead. Yeah. Like, are you still playing games, or are you looking forward to a specific one? Like, do you have one in mind you want to play?
Maybe you answer this question first.
Okay, yeah. So I actually still play games. I played quite a lot not the last semester, but before that, I was playing a lot of games, like basically 3 to 4 hours every day, most of the times. But now I'm playing way less. But yes, I'm still playing. I mostly play an aim trainer for PC, which is called Kovacs, and I started to pick up Battlefield 4 recently again because, in my opinion, it's the best or one of the best games of the last few years. And that's also the reason why I'm really looking forward to Battlefield 6, and I hope they don't fuck it up completely, as every game these days. Like, all the new games are horrible. I don't know what like they do or why they do it, but I mean, I understand the reasoning behind it, but they're just not fun. They're just like to sell skins, and that's it basically. So yeah, I hope they
I,
don't fuck it up.
I feel like that's a good transition into also what I wanted to say next, because if we get back to my story, after, and this is about 6 years ago, after high school, that's when I kind of stopped playing video games. Um, because somehow I started actually getting, I realized how I started getting more and more bored by what I saw on the market. Like I didn't have this feeling of, getting really excited for a new game, for example, and or I don't know. I remember back in high school, like sometimes I would be so excited to go back home and just play video games. And like even when I think back, like I think it's a cool time. Like I was so happy, like just playing video games, like by myself or with my friends, and it's so. And I all of a sudden I just didn't have that anymore. And like the more I think about it, and we've talked about this before, like sometimes I just feel like there is nothing really new coming out. It's always the same repetitive shit. And I remember, like, by the way, feeling that for the first time with Battlefield 4, because it just felt like Battlefield 3 but a little bit cleaner and, with nicer graphics. And I don't know, I had the same feeling over and over again, over and over again over the past years. It's Yeah, as you said, like oftentimes they just, well, now they obviously they have like the whole skin bullshit that basically you just, it's all about having the nicest skin and like the coolest skin for your weapon or for your player. And it's just, I don't know, it's starting to get a little bit, it takes away the whole magic from the game, I feel like. And it was even before that, in my opinion. It's just you don't really have this I don't know, these crazy cool new games. And I also feel like one of the issues is that, which is both like a curse and a wonderful thing, that there are so many games coming out nowadays, like every single month. You didn't have that at the time, and it's great because like everybody can become a developer nowadays. Everybody can just start creating something. But on the other hand, since there's like this overflow of games, there's never like this one game that you will keep on playing for, I don't know, half a year or even a year. Like I had games at the time that I played for sometimes a year or 2 years straight. You couldn't imagine doing that anymore. Like now, especially when it comes to a single player game, you'll install it, like as you said, like you'll play it maybe for, let's say people like play it a bit more intensively, like you'll play it for 10, 15, 20 hours, and that's it. And then you put it to the side and then it's next. And I feel like I've had a lot of issues with like finding this one game again, or like finding this love for video games. In fact, I wouldn't say that I gained it back. Like the last game I played where I had a lot of fun playing it was actually, yeah, Zelda Breath of the Wild. That one I played twice. And another game that I love gaming playing from time to time is lately is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Um, it's just like this great way to relax for me. But even that, I realize how after 2 hours, it's just enough, and like I can't play any longer. And then maybe I'll do that for 2 weeks in a row, and then I'll stop for a month again because it starts getting repetitive for me.
Yeah, but I think that's fine. Like, I have 2 points. Like, one, like my first point is why I think games are becoming a bit boring for us is, first, like, we have other things to do, and they're often really interesting. So obviously, it loses its magic a little bit on this point. And also, like, every game tries to appeal to everyone. For example, back in the days, COD was really different from Battlefield. It was a completely different game. But now COD wants to have, like, Call of Duty wants to have all the Battlefield players also playing their game, and Battlefield wants to have all the Call of Duty players playing the game. So right now, basically, both games are more or less the same game, because they don't want to lose, like, target audience by making it specific. And that's one big, like, mistake, I think. And for the other part, I think for me it always was a little bit different. I never switched games. I always had this thing. I picked up a game, and then I wanted to get really good at it, and I played it a lot. Basically I have those. I have Counter-Strike, Black Ops, Apex, and those are the games I really, really try hard at. Because for me, it's always I pick up a game, I play multiplayer, and I want to shit on everyone. And recently, I also kind of lost interest in playing games, and also have way less time. But what's kind of fixing it for me is playing way less. Because, like, if you play once or twice a week, and maybe for, like, today I played, for example, 3 hours, which was really long. I don't play that much normally, currently. But if you actually don't play that often, you really look forward to it, and it's not that frustrating, right? It's not that you're pouring in time and everything's annoying and there's aim assist and there's, like, weird mechanics. You just play it now and then it's fine. I think that really fixes it for me.
Yeah, I guess that depends from person to person. I personally, by the way, I think this is sad that I've kind of lost touch to video games in general, because again, I loved it so much as a child, and I don't know who to blame here. Is it the video game industry, or is it myself who just finds the wrong games, or I
Probably
really
both.
don't. Huh? Maybe
Probably
it's both.
both, I
Yeah,
think.
maybe it's both. That's absolutely possible. But um, I will probably always have, like, a special connection to video games. And I will always play a little bit on the side. And by the way, I don't have a PS5 yet, but just because I didn't get one, um, I'm still waiting.
Could take
So,
some
like,
time.
I'm still on the wait list. So yeah, hopefully this year. Well, we'll see.
Maybe you
my,
get it when the PS6 comes
dude,
out.
my dad goes like, "Yo, I'm getting the vaccine before I'm getting the PS5, probably."
It's probably true.
And yeah, probably whatever. It's sad, but again, whatever. Yeah, I don't know, but I really hope that at some point I'll get that love. Like, I think what I'm missing the most is that that real excitement for playing video games again. You know what I mean? Or like when, like, you asked me, like, what game are you most excited about, or is there a game that you're excited about? I couldn't tell you one. Is there one that you're excited about?
um, I would say excited is a little bit too much. I'm looking forward to see how Battlefield 6 turns out. But if I would say I'm super hyped and I can't wait, it would be a lie. Like, basically, I don't give a shit if it releases in a month, in 3 months, in 4 months, or in a year. Like, it's whatever. But I look forward to playing it and trying it out.
But that's exactly what I'm saying, and it's not like you're there isn't
Like
this
counting days or something, that's not happening.
that's what I meant. Like, there is not this excitement anymore. There's not like this, like, going crazy for this one game, and that. And I don't know about you, but, like, sometimes also feels like when I play games, it's not that, like, after finishing to play, like, I'm like, yeah, this was, like, completely worth it or something.
Yeah, I know that feeling very well. A lot of the times that's why I basically stopped playing Apex, or like trying to play good at it and like getting better and like playing ranked and everything. It was for me a lot of the times I stopped playing after like 3 hours session, and I was like, dude, fuck me, that was a waste of time. I could have done that, or that, and every single thing would have been a better time investment. And then at some point, I calculated like just my hours played in Apex, with what I could earn, like just working the same hours. And then I was big sad, and then I basically stopped playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now I'm shitting on it a little bit too much, because it's not that extreme. Especially, for example, I said that I bought myself, like, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That was but maybe a year ago or something. And I actually, like, a lot of times I had a lot of fun playing it because I didn't play the last Call of Duty I played was, oh shit, which one was it? Dude, eventually it was Modern Warfare 3. So that's like a long time ago, and I hadn't played a Call of Duty in a very long time, and I just felt like playing again, and so that's why I bought it. And I had a lot of good times, but what I'm trying to say is that I feel like the spark there was is just missing by now. And I mean, this can also have something to do with the fact that at the time I was, more of a child, so I could get more excited about those things. Um, Overall, I guess it's just sad, and I'm trying to find someone to blame here. So fuck you,
them.
Activision. Fuck you, Nintendo. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck all of them.
Fuck all of them. Fuck all, no, obviously not. But it's just, I guess I really miss that feeling, and I hope that it will come back at some point. And I don't know how I can make it come back. It always comes back like a tiny bit when those typical Nintendo games come back or like are re-released, and I play them, but I don't have that feeling the entire time, and I don't have that feeling of extreme excitement. And to be honest, like, if I would buy the new PlayStation, the number one and probably only game I would buy is Call of Duty again, because I think it's a fun game. And
I mean,
it's
you
cool to play
could buy,
sometimes, but
like, Battlefield 6 will probably have crossplay, so you could buy Battlefield 6 and we can hop in some games.
yeah, sure.
I mean, I could also install Modern Warfare, but the game's trash, sadly.
Did they say that they have crossplay?
I mean, every game right now has crossplay. I don't think they can release something without crossplay, to be honest. I don't think that's like feasible.
Does Apex have crossplay already?
Yeah.
Oh, for real? They did it finally?
Yeah,
took forever.
It took them,
I think,
just like 2 centuries, but they figured it out.
For literally for a year straight, Constantine kept telling me, "Dude, we can play Apex together soon. It'll have crossplay." And they're like, "It'll be soon. Trust me, it'll be soon. They're announcing it." I'm like, okay, sure. I'm waiting.
True.
I'm waiting. The only thing that never lost touch are the very toxic people on their platforms.
Those are. Oh yeah, I have a story. That's what I wanted to tell you. I wrote you a message before we started the podcast, and I was like holding the story back. So I was playing Battlefield 4 earlier, and I was on the server the first time, and I was completely shitting on kids. And this one guy started, like, I have a low ping because I have a fiber connection, a business connection. And this guy just went off on me and like, yeah, dude, you're hacking. And then he started like telling me that he basically hacked my PC and he can see some weird videos and see my cheat scripts and will send them to my family and everyone I know if I don't leave the server immediately and stop ruining his game. I was like, okay, dude, 100%. That's how that works.
Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, dude, that was so funny. But I actually think that's a wrap up for this week's episode. We're already like 25 minutes in. It was fun talking to you again, and I'm really, really looking forward to our next episode. And if you enjoyed listening, we're still getting into the groove. We're figuring out how we do our transitions good, how we do it the most entertaining way. But if you liked it, maybe recommend it to a friend or like follow the podcast on Spotify. We'll probably release some social media platforms soon. And yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you very much for listening, and see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.